Joanna, and I am naturally fine. If you haven't watched any of my videos before, you probably want to take a look at my introduction videos, and then you'll understand the whole concept of naturally fine and why I chose to join the YouTube family and talk about my natural hair journey. So in this journey, which I've only been on it for a few months, it's now almost July, it's the end of June, and I started this back in March, and just because I didn't feel like straightening my hair one day. So natural for me has been a no heat type of thing, because I haven't had a relaxer in my hair for well over 15, 16 years now. So anyway, I learned a lot, and so because this has been a trial and error process, and I've just been trying to find styles that would actually work for me and for my hair type. And so the idea that I even have a hair type, that was something new. So this video is natural hair 101, because even though I consider myself to be a smart person and intelligent person, I can't say that I understand some of the terminology and associated products for certain types of hair and things like that. That this has just been a total learning experience for me. But I like learning, so it's actually been fun. So let's just talk about different definitions with regard to types of hair. So when we're describing the hair, many times people are talking about the texture of their hair, their curl pattern, straight, curly, kinky, fine, coarse. There's a number of different descriptors out there, but the natural hair community has given us some different definitions, and that's helpful because we can find appropriate styles and the best products for our hair. So I think that's actually great that we can actually categorize some things and have an actual language surrounding our hair. So first I'll talk about fine hair versus coarse hair. Fine hair really has to deal with the diameter of the strand. And so when you think about something being fine versus coarse, so like this is a fine tooth comb. There's not much space, and the diameter of the actual teeth of the comb is actually pretty narrow. So fine hair as opposed to coarse hair, if you think about something that's finely ground, it doesn't feel very grainy, it doesn't feel very thick, versus something that's coarsely ground, it's thicker basically. So fine hair basically has a smaller diameter. Some people actually call that thinner hair. It's thin compared to coarser hair, because coarser hair just has a thicker diameter. So you can have fine hair but actually have full hair, as in dense hair. So when I'm talking about thin hair, for the most part, I'm using it with regard to density of my hair, because my hair is not very full. If you were to look at my hair and take about a square inch of hair, particularly at the crown of my hair, you may actually be able to see some of my scalp. So it's not very dense, it's not very full, but the individual strands are fine. And so a person with coarse hair, that same amount of space, they may actually, it could be dense, but it could actually be less strands compared to a finer hair person for that amount of hair. So fine hair deals with the diameter, and density deals with fullness, if you will. And so coverage is the head completely covered with hair. So you could have fine hair and have a lot of it, and therefore it's full and it's dense. You could have coarse hair that's not as dense as well. So but sometimes thin hair and fine hair are kind of used interchangeably. So I just kind of went ahead and talked about density at the same time. So many people use low density instead of using the term thin hair. So when you're actually doing a search, you might want to use low density or high density to find exactly what you're looking for, because that relates, like I said, to coverage. Then there is curl pattern. And so there's different curl patterns, and Andre Walker actually came up with the system. Andre Walker, you may know, is Oprah's hairstylist. And so some people have expounded on it, but I think most people kind of liked his system. And so my hair pattern is type 2, and then there's actually some categories that fall in type 2. Well, there's categories or subcategories for all of them. So I don't know exactly which 2 I am, but I have more of the S-shaped wavy pattern hair. And then there's type 3, which is actually curly. So if you actually think about curls, it's just curly. So they could be more ringlet or corkscrew types. It's almost as if it's making a full circle of sorts as you go down it, and so more of a spiral versus just the S. And so that's type 3. Then there's type 4, which is more coily, and when I think of coily, I actually think of a spring. And so that means it's almost like there are full circles just going all the way around. And so when you think of coily, those curls tend to be tighter. So you can actually have fine hair that's coily, and you can actually have coarser hair that's coily. You can have coarser hair that's more straight and actually wavy. So there's just different types, and so it can be a bit much to categorize, but I think it's still good to know and understand where people are coming from. And so there's different types of products out there for certain types of curls. And so if your hair is coarser and coilier, it's quite possible that your hair may not be as easy to comb through. Whereas a person with straight hair, completely straight hair, whether it's dense, whether it's coarse or fine, they may not actually have too much of a problem with detangling per se. So that's curl pattern. Then there's porosity. And porosity has to deal with how fast or how quickly your hair actually absorbs moisture. And so in my reading, I found this test from Essence, essence.com, and you take a glass of water and you take a strand of hair. You're actually supposed to do it. I actually have 2 strands here. You're supposed to take a strand of hair after you shampoo it. So theoretically, all of the product buildup and all of that has been removed from the hair. Put it in water and see what happens to the strand. There's other tests out there, but this seemed to be the simplest to me, and it actually made the most sense, because I guess a hair that has a lot of moisture in it would actually sink. So I've actually shampooed and conditioned my hair, so, and I've done this test before right after I've shampooed it, and I waited for a little while, and ultimately it sunk all the way down to the bottom. And so right now it's still hanging towards the top, but it's kind of stuck on the wall of the glass, so I have to make sure that it's all in the water. And this water test makes sense to me because when our hair is wet, we really can tell. Does it really soak up the water right away? If it does, then it's quite possible that you have high porosity hair because it's immediately taking it in. I've seen people at a pool where it looks like the hair is just sitting on top of the water, the water is sitting on top of the hair. So the hair is actually not getting, the water is not actually getting into the hair. So that's low porosity. Then you have normal. So low porosity hair doesn't really float. It stays near the top. And then normal porosity kind of will float in the middle. And then high porosity will actually go all the way to the bottom. And so what's helpful to know about that is the best products for your hair. So low porosity means it doesn't really absorb hair. So it's been suggested, and you can read up more on this. Like I said, in no way am I an expert. I just decided to read a little bit more such that I could make decisions about my own hair. And I just decided to relay some of what I've learned to you. So low porosity hair, from what I read, you should avoid acidic types of products. And so perhaps steaming to get that moisture into your hair. So those might be better processes, and hair that, oils or products that actually respond to steam and things like that. Those might be better for the hair. Then normal, pretty much you can do whatever you want. And then high porosity, which some people love the idea of their hair absorbing oils quickly, but it's not necessarily a good thing because you could perhaps lose moisture quickly as well. So you may find yourself needing to add moisture to your hair more frequently. So it absorbs it quickly and then it loses it quickly. So my hair falls, according to this test, more on the, right now it's still near the top. So, well, there's a portion of it that's actually kind of gone all the way down to the bottom. So, when I've done this before, it's pretty much gone straight to the bottom. So I have high porosity hair. So I tend to put more moisture in my hair, or I'm just more conscientious about moisturizing products. And so it's been recommended to use butters and oils and stuff. So that's a little bit of hair, natural hair 101. So hopefully that makes a bit more sense for you if you were curious and if some things just didn't quite connect from what you may have read. And so you see my hair up in this towel. I have a couple of towels that I use on a regular basis for my hair. So you'll probably see this green towel or a lighter green towel pretty often when I'm doing these videos. So that's Natural Hair 101 for now, and until next time, I'm naturally fine. See you later.